we come in and it still is a town divided, unfortunately.
So not only are these items not approved or this work not approved, but we're overpaying for a lot of these services. So what does that mean? That means if we're overpaying, at some point you all are eventually going to pay for it in the long run, because
we're only asking for what we're due. And we shouldn't have to, as trustees, have to beg people to give us what we want, but they want our vote.
We need this money. We have to operate as a village. And if they continue to spend money that we don't have, it has to come from somewhere.
They want to spend our money and they want our vote and don't want to tell us what they're spending the money on.
We've been locked out of office. We've been locked out of systems, but guess what? We're still here. We're still going to do the work for the people.
The problem everybody got is they cannot control me. So y'all with all the mess and lip boxing, chill with the channel.
Let's rock on the mic. What's up, everybody? And you are listening to the best of the Media Mike Radio Show. I am your host, the Media Mike Speaks, sponsored by New Justice Media, where we are the voice of the everyday citizen. The time is now 5 minutes past the hour here in the Lone Star State. So let's get to this story before it's too late. All right, good people, I'm pretty sure a lot of you may have heard of this city girl mayor by the name of Tiffany Henyard. She's been blowing up the media with her antics and her rants and her bullying, and some say her dictatorship style of leadership. So my subscribers asked me, why haven't I done a YouTube video about her? Well, it seems to be, as I stated, a lot of corruption going around, and Illinois has been getting hit back to back. And and not also here in our Lone Star State, also in New Orleans, in Louisiana. I mean, it's just all over the place. Because we know here in the Lone Star State, Ken Paxton got hit, even though he won, but he's not out of the woods yet. So we have a lot of things going on. So this story, Tiffany Henyard, I would say, as you saw in the video, has all the power, it seems. Now, she was elected in February of 2021 with 82% of the vote. Now, that's something that's curious to me. 82% of the vote? 82% of the vote? And she's over 2 subdivisions. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a lot of elderly individuals. Because if you watch some of the videos, I don't see a lot of young people. Now, when she's doing her marches or something like that, or her little campaign, whatever it is she does, fundraising and whatever she does, I see a few young people, but I don't see a lot of young people. I see middle-aged and up. Even at those meetings, I see middle-aged and up. And I think she got in on a loophole. And let's continue. You see what I mean? It says the 8-year former village trustee. That should tell you something right there. The 8-year former village trustee. So she had been a trustee for 8 years. So what that tells me is that she knew the game. She had a head start. And she became the first and youngest woman mayor in the village's 130-year history. Predominantly African American. Now, she is a longtime resident of Dolton, and she says she's passionate about Dolton. This community where she grew up. She lives there. She graduated with high honors from Thorn Ridge High School and earned a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration with the highest honor summa cum laude from Robert Morris University. So she has a pretty good background on that level. Now, she's the mayor, as I stated, and the supervisor of 2 suburbs in Illinois. So she had an 8-year head start. Now, how did she get the position? That's where things get interesting. Things to make you go, And I need to find out more about that. So she's got into it on the ground floor. 8 years, that's a decade in that position before she decided to run for mayor. And I do believe she ran unopposed. I think she did. That's how she got in. And I know the lady who swore her in used to work there. I think you had a lot of connections there where either she was chosen or somehow she decided to run. But the bottom line is she got in and she convinced the people she was it. And I think a lot of elderly people put her in there. I do believe that. You can't tell me otherwise. The median income is $50,000 a year. So I look around, I'm looking at this place and going, you have a lot of senior citizens. They are the ones who really come out and vote. And as long as you throw on barbecues, because you know how a lot of African Americans are, you throw barbecues and this and that and go, don't get me wrong, I think she played it very well. She went out, she knocked on their doors, she went to check on them. She went, and a lot of senior citizens like that type of stuff. They're into that. And I think that's what pretty much, I'm just saying my professional opinion, which won her the vote. And apparently she's researched the fact that she has a lot of power. She describes herself as the most powerful woman in the Southland of Chicago. Travels with the police detail, has thrown up billboards and signs around town with a photo, and regularly shoots fun YouTube videos, including a music video featuring herself and Dolton City employees. You see what I'm saying? She's tapped into that aspect of the youth, I would say. But the self-proclaimed super mayor is also garnering attention from social media, online forums, and local news outlets for alleged misdeeds. Henyard has been sued for fraud, accused of misusing public funds, and criticized for flaunting the law and frivolous spending in general. So they're saying she's out of control. From the looks of it, yeah, but they voted her in and she has the power to do it. Does it seem somewhat of a corruption? Yes, it does. It does seem like you have a lot of corruption going on. It does. Now, she's seeing the writing on the wall and she's looking at, she may not be reelected in 2025, depending on who runs against her. Now, she's saying at this point, what she's trying to do is she is writing up something, drafting a legislation that will cut the salary from $224,000 a year, because she makes pretty much close to $250,000 a year, to $25,000. So whoever comes in, let's say defeats her, they're only going to be making $25,000 a year. Okay, yeah, she may see the writing on the wall. Now, among the controversies, the account and others on TikTok have detailed include Henyard spending $50,000 on a Christmas tree from New York, using public funds to buy roadside billboards featuring her name and face, including one that misspelled Thornton, and allegedly using police to harass residents and employees and target political opponents. Wow, yeah, that's, now you're starting to get into some, what do you call it, the strong arm and racketeering, and yeah, that's the dirty, old-fashioned politics. But to spend that amount of money on a Christmas tree and light it all up and have it all pretty, people like that type of stuff. They do. They would rather see that than clean water. It's weird. Well, maybe it all depends. But if she's satisfying a lot of elderly people, they're too far gone. So there's nothing you can really do about that. Now, the other antics have included purchasing first-class tickets for out-of-town trips, allegedly funneling thousands of dollars in public money to a foundation in her name. Now she has money going in her name, which you really can't touch. Taking Dolton police officers off the street to provide a personal security detail that's resulted in thousands of dollars of overtime, and spending thousands of dollars on 2 ice rinks that elected officials say they didn't approve. I think there was a shooting or something that happened not too long ago, and I think that's what really put a black eye on her for a while. But I don't know if that got enough media coverage to where an incumbent will come in and outvote, beat her in the primary. I'm not sure. Now, according to Mayor Henyard, the city girl mayor, she has denied any wrongdoing. Her public statements indicate that she is unbowed by any criticism or the threat of legal action. At a regular board meeting in early January, she showed a video of residents praising her for being visible in the community, then launched into a long speech of chastising her opponents and noting how hard she works. Now she says, look, we live here. I live here. They don't. And stop listening to outside people. And she went on to criticize what she called a spin cycle and a smear campaign against her, which she said had been undertaken by people who know they can't beat me. Instead, she said, they try to defame my name. They're trying to damage my character when I've done nothing for years but love on the people. When you all hear things or think of things, come and get the facts and the receipts before you judge. This is what she's saying. Now the thing is, people, do you agree? That is the question. Do you agree? I'm looking at this, I'm watching her and I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, look, the city at this point is in a $5 million deficit. She's put him in there. The Dolton Village trustees, which you saw in the earlier part of the video, they have sued Henyard in an effort to rein in her spending, accusing the mayor of forging checks without authority, failing or refusing to provide financial records, and removing one trustee's access to the village's bank account information without approval. Henyard is also accused of using a stamp containing the trustee's signature to issue checks for payments not approved by the board. Wow. This is not good. You have a young person running wild with no guidance, no structure. Now, a prior ordinance had looked to curb Henyard's alleged abuse of power by mandating that the most senior trustee and the clerk would be signatories for village checks. But that was overturned last year after Henyard brought a lawsuit against it. And that got overturned too because some signatures were not supposed to be there. They didn't have enough, something like that. But at this point, it is unclear what the residents of Dolton and Thornton Township make of their leader. But the Chicago Tribune columnist suggests she's popular. She invites the public to her parties and promotions, which makes Henyard popular among voters. Didn't I tell you that? She's like Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy or some other benevolent character that showers people with gifts. That's the key. Now, this is what's really bad. The paper details scandals that include the selling and distribution of police badges to non-officers and the apparent involvement of the former mayor of nearby Harvey in a scheme where his brother demanded payments from a town strip club for 15 years in exchange for allowing prostitution to take place. Add to that the drinking water problems, flooding, and other infrastructure issues that southern suburbs regularly experience. It's far past time for honest and competent municipal leadership to take the reins in the area, the Sun-Times board said. Enough is enough, unquote. Well, I agree. But what are you going to do? Apparently, there's some clause or something in it that gives her absolute power to where even the trustees cannot do anything about. Otherwise, why hadn't she been removed by now or something? Or the FBI is looking into some things. There's a FBI investigation. Yes. But they're just going to investigate. If they don't find any violation of federal fraud or federal funds or federal law, what can they do? Apparently, they put this person in office. She ran unopposed, I do believe, and this is what you get. This is what you get. She has a criminal past, yes, but that's the past. Excuse me, that's the past. But it's not a good past, but she does. What I don't like of what I saw is the fact that she hired an individual with a serious past that she's linked to, supposed to somewhat be involved with. And he has a very bad past to where he can't be around kids. And she hired this person to go in the houses and check stuff. That's not good. But people, you get who you vote for. You do. Now, some of you might not like what I have to say, but if it is true, if a lot of elderly people voted and got her in, that is your number one problem right there. Number two, where are the competent African American or men to step up to the plate? They should have ran for mayor. Not trying to chastise women and say they're not good leaders. I'm just saying you got this young person in here. She's from there. You know her past, but y'all put her in there and this is what you get. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is pathetic and deplorable. African Americans are always talking about we need to do for self. We need to own. We need our own or support our own. And you get people like this. This is what you get. Illinois has a horrible reputation. The Chicago mayors and things like that, And it goes to show you, this is the year 2023. Enough is enough. I do agree. But you keep voting in people like this, this is what you're going to get. You can't do better than this. Well, it is what it is. I'm waiting to see what 2025 is going to bring and see if the city girl mayor will be reelected or will she run unopposed or will someone step up to the plate and give her a run for the money and hopefully turn all this around. Good luck to y'all, Dolton. Until next time, this is the guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
Understand you soon, it won't be long.
Keep on, keep on.